The first place Raiders coming off a big win and 10 days rest and playing a 2-7 Minnesota Viking team today. Our broadcast is brought to you in high definition by Sharp.
Presenting Subway Fresh Buzz, a look at football's top teams. Subway, the official training restaurant of Justin Tuck and Damatong Soup, Mark Ingram, and athletes everywhere.
Today we take control of this division, right here on the road, baby. We don't do it, they win it.
With cornerback Roman Harper leading the defense, and Mark Ingram, Drew Brees, and Robert Meacham driving the NFL's top-ranked offense, the first-place New Orleans Saints have won 3 of their last 4 games.
Game day, any day. Got to get my hands on some Subway steak melts.
Bring on a tender, juicy steak and cheese, or tackle the monumentally massive Big Philly cheesesteak.
A protein-packed powerhouse.
Bam! And for breakfast, send morning hunger to the sidelines with a melt-delicious steak, bacon, egg, and cheese on flatbread.
Made fresh, just the way I like. Delicious.
Irresistibly tempting Subway steak melts.
Get your head in the game and try one, will you? Subway, where winners eat.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back in Minneapolis, nice win for Hugh Jackson and the Oakland Raiders last Thursday in San Diego, 24-17 over the Chargers. Leslie Frazier and his Viking team on Monday night were blown out by Green Bay by 38 points. Frazier in his second season took over midway through last year in the wake of the firing of Childress, the head coach, and there is Sebastian Janikowski dealing with a bad hamstring on his left leg, his kicking leg, and we'll watch that closely today. And deep back is Percy Harvin. In his career, he has returned 4 boots. Here is a chip shot retrieved at the 20-yard line by Harvin, who sneaks his way up to the 32-yard line on a 14-yard return. Oakland won the flip of the coin. They deferred. Vikings begin it with quarterback Christian Ponder, making his 4th straight start, taking over for Donovan McNabb.
Christian Ponder wants to go on the attack, but he has to balance his aggressive mindset, and of course he can't get careless with the football. So look for quick, rhythmic passing from Christian Ponder and plenty of running the football with Adrian Peterson.
From the 32, first down and 10. With a false start on the Vikings.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the left tackle, Charlie Johnson. Right guard today is Joe Berger, starting for the injured Anthony Herrera. And running back Adrian Peterson is the 5th leading rusher in the NFL and goes up against the number 25 rush defense of the Raiders today.
Well, Adrian Peterson certainly going to get plenty of work.
Now 1st and 15. And this is Adrian Peterson. Looked like Wembley was the first one to wrestle him down. 29-yard line and a gain of 2 on that defensive line. Oh, there's a little shove after the play. On the defensive line, we were thinking we were going to see a start by Richard Seymour. He will not be starting today. He is suited up. That is a late scratch, and they've got Henderson starting in his place. But Seymour is on the sideline. Wembley is coming off a 4-sack game. And in the secondary, Lito Shepherd with his 2nd consecutive start. Shepherd was with the Vikings a season ago. It's 2nd down and 13. Peterson, what they should do with the block. Right into the grass defensively of Lito Shepherd. He's up to the 37-yard line and picks up 7 on the play.
I asked Adrian Peterson, when do you start to want to win the mental and physical battle of wearing down a defense? And he said, I want to do it starting with the first carry of the game. And you can see he's not avoiding defenders. He forces you to get out of his way, or you're going to pay the price if you stand in his way and attempt to tackle him.
Seymour has just come in on that defensive line. They will use him situationally today. 3rd down and 5. Here's the blitz. Wembley is after Ponder. That's a first down or close to a first down catch by the tight end, Notre Dame rookie Kyle Rudolph. A gain of 4 or 5, and I think he may be shy by a half yard.
Well, take a look at this, and Ponder's going to get out of it. This is what he brings to the table, how elusive he is. Now look at that tackle by Giordano. That may have prevented Kyle Rudolph from turning up to get the first down. Look at the angle he takes. To me, that's just smart football, Kevin, taking good angles. And when you can take good angles like that, that's how you pitch a 3 and out and force the Vikings to punt the football.
And he didn't run the route long enough because he's shy, and they're going to have to punt on.
But if he would have caught it and stopped and got vertical going north to south, could have picked it up. But Giordano took away the angle, and what a phenomenal tackle in the open field. A game of inches, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Giordano has been replacing Michael Huff, although Huff is suited up today and playing. The ball is just shy of the 42, so indeed they're a half yard shy. Chris Kluwe will be punting, and deep back for the Oakland Raiders will be Denarius Moore. And Moore will let this go out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. We'll find out where they mark it. Mark it at the 14. Well-placed punt, 44-yarder. Quarterback Carson Palmer is coming off one of his best games in just his second start for the Raiders. Today, his 100th career start.
What did he tell us? He's more comfortable with the players, with the playbook, with the cafeteria, the schedule. He just said all around, he feels so much better in this offense than what you saw in that first game when he played against Kansas City with the 3 interceptions. Hugh Jackson's got all the faith and confidence that Carson Palmer's got his best football ahead of him.
It's always good to find out where the food is, right? That
you got to know that. Those are the little things.
From the 14, Bush. Satelli was leading the way, and they jump on him, as you can see, for a gain of 2 up to the 15-yard line. And that's the aforementioned Samson Satelli, back after missing the last game with a knee injury. Wisniewski now, who was at center, is back at the left guard. Running back Michael Bush replaces the injured Darren McFadden again. Bush was terrific against San Diego with 157 rushing yards.
Oh, he's capable of making big plays, not just running the ball, but catching it out of the backfield also.
It's second down and 9. Marcel Reese. And he'll club his way for a gain of 5 up near the 20-yard line. Bottom of the pile there was Kevin Williams. On the defensive line, the aforementioned Jared Allen leading the NFL in sacks with 13. Chad Greenway is in the linebacking cord. Onatalu is taking the place of the injured Aaron Henderson. And Tyrell Johnson is in the secondary. And a quick throw. That's the tight end boss. Chasing him down was E.J. Henderson. No huddle here for the Raiders. It's a gain of 7 on 3rd and 4, and the Raiders get a first down.
And that's an example of what you were talking about, where Boss does get beyond the sticks to make the catch, and Rudolph did it on his 3rd down reception for the Minnesota Vikings.
1st and 10 on the Raiders' first possession. Bush. And they came from the side and thrown for a 1-yard loss on the play. Greenway was at the bottom of that pile at the 25-yard line with a nice play, too, from Benny Sapp. You were talking about him in the pregame.
Yeah, there's Benny Sapp. He just comes off the corner, and he's just, he's in that slot position. Watch him just shoot the gap right there and come in and make the tackle. It's a heads-up play. He's played here before. Les Frazier said that he knows the defense well, and he showed it in practice this week. He said he had great recall for what we want to do on defense.
Second down and 11 for Palmer. Boss again in the middle, close to a first down. Whipped down on the play by Tyrell Johnson. Up to the 35 and picks up 9.
We call these players WMDs, weapons of mass destruction for Carson Palmer, because the tight end, Kevin Boss, he's a big guy over the middle. We told you about Denarius Moore on the outside with the vertical speed. And even with Darren McFadden now, Michael Bush gives you another weapon. There's weapons all over the place. That's why the Raiders lead the league in explosive plays. 54 plays of 20 yards or more. Lots of guys to get the ball to.
4 in the secondary. 3rd down and 2. Bush with the block. Down he goes. Greenway comes through and brings him down. His first sack of the season. Loss of 5. Back to the 30. Raiders are down a punt.
Well, I'm going to show you why, okay? Now, take a look at this. Go ahead and roll it. We'll show you what Carson Palmer wanted to do, and his receiver gets jammed at the top. That's Marcel Reese. See, they wanted to go there. He was jammed and covered, forced Carson Palmer to hold on to the ball, and he had to eat it and take a sack.
That punt by Leckler. Charles is back there inside the 25, returning that for the Vikings, a 45-yard punt. We'll get our second look at the Vikings offense. 9:41 in the first quarter for Minneapolis.
Southwest makes the call. Yes. Hey, come on, that's exciting.
Most every week and still able to be a productive runner.
Anderson starting on this defensive series. Oh, there's a great tackle by Aaron Curry behind the line of scrimmage as Peterson is thrown for a loss of 1 back to the 21.
Well, he already said it's going to be famine, famine, feast. They're going to keep hammering away at this defense, and you can see for the first 70 career games since 1960 how productive Adrian Peterson has been. 6,600 rushing yards. He's inching ever so closely to becoming the all-time leading rusher for the Minnesota Vikings.
Second down and 11 to go. Flushed. Kelly can't get him. And Houston kind of got him along with Curry. That's one thing about Ponder. Very mobile. That's a gain of 10. And he'll be close to a first down. We got a Raider down.
Well, you can see he gets out of there quick. The pocket collapses early, but his speed and athleticism allows him to get out. And there's Lamar Houston, a man down. Looked like one of his own teammates collided with his lower leg.
We have an injury timeout. Second possession for the Vikings. 8:49 to play in the first in the Dome.
Sign up with Dish Network today and get the Blockbuster Movie Pass included.
Jogged off under his own power. Trevor Scott taking his place. 3rd and 1. Ponder chased by Scott. D'Imperio, who is a college linebacker, turned into a NFL fullback, and he's up with the catch. 1st and 10. McLean the stop up to the 38.
And how about Christian Ponder coming out and converting on 3rd down? And as you can see, as a starter, hadn't been too bad for a guy who's replaced Donovan McNabb. His ability to make plays, throwing the ball down the field. I think his athleticism, his arm, and accuracy have been very good for a young quarterback, but he needs to play better, needs to win games.
There's a 1st and 10 handoff, and a good play by Wembley. A flag is down. Adrian Peterson is down at the 31-yard line. Loss of 7 as it stands now. On fire is Cam Wembley. My goodness, did he play a good game 10 days ago?
Oh, man, that was something. He came off the corner. That's called
holding. Offense, number 76. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
That play, that was called on Steve Hutchinson. But you can see, watch him coming off that left edge there. This is called setting the edge. Keeping that outside arm free, just a really wonderful play made right there. That was just really good, sound defense.
2nd down and 17. Harvin. Route, hit him. Branch, hit him. He's down at the 41. Boy, you get him in space. Watch out. Gain of 10 right there for the Vikings.
Right now, the Vikings look really good moving the ball. They've got some things going. If they could just avoid the penalties, been able to complete some of the short passes that we talked about that you're going to get from Christian Ponder anytime you get the ball in the hands of Percy Harvin. He normally breaks the tackle and makes something happen.
6 in the secondary for the Oakland Raiders with a 3rd and 7 right now for Christian Ponder. Rookie out of Florida State. Kelly got him and brings him down, but there goes a flag. I think he got him on the face mask or the horse collar at the 32. As big Tommy Kelly came through there, he had a sack against Phillip Rivers in San Diego last Thursday.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 93. Blow to the head of the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
I don't know what they want. You know, in something like that, he's reaching for the quarterback. If the quarterback ducks,
then he's going to hit the head. You want to avoid it, but Kelly only had one arm free to reach for the quarterback.
I don't know.
But you just have to avoid it. But I can tell you this, he destroyed the left guard, Joe Berger. And Berger is replacing Anthony Herrera. He's playing, I should say, at right guard. And, well, he's got to do a better job of blocking the interior defensive line of the Oakland Raiders.
Lamar Houston has come back in for the Oakland Raiders. That is good news for Oakland. Here is a 1st and 10 on the second possession for the Vikings today. Carson Palmer, Kyle Rudolph. That's a flag. Aaron Curry was there helmet-to-helmet, maybe at the 50.
But you know what? He's a guy that's catching the ball.
I know
it. He turned up to go upfield. It was a helmet-to-helmet hit.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 51, hit on a defenseless receiver, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You got to ask yourself, did the tight end, did he make a football move after making this catch? Wow. I tell you what, he made a football move. Watch him turn up as if to run with it. But that is the kind of hits that we do want to take out of the league. And I know it's a sort of a bang-bang play, but he certainly made a football move, Kevin. And once you make a football move, you're not considered to be a defenseless player.
Moore's out on 1st and 10. Here goes Harvin. Oh, finds a seam. Got a block on the play from Jenkins. That is a Viking touchdown. Flag has been thrown at the 17. As it stands now, a 35-yard run.
During the run, holding, offense, number 84, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
So that'll be a spot foul, and it's on Jenkins, the ex-Atlanta Falcon receiver.
No, he was doing his best to try to block the defensive backs downfield. And watch him, you can see he's going to come in right there. Now, is he holding? Wow. He was fronting the defensive back and then knocked him back, but they called it. Officials did have a good look at it. Excellent play design by Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, and well executed by Harvin.
Now we have a very odd 1st and 2. It is a spot foul.
Well, we call this a waste down. You usually take shots down the field when you get this kind of opportunity.
Let's see what they got right now. 9th play of the Viking drive. And the end around the other way. There's a stop. Michael Huff, who's been battling injuries throughout this season, namely an ankle. It's a loss of 6. They're back to the 33.
Yeah, waste down doesn't mean you waste the play. This is a reverse coming back the other way. Well played by Michael Huff. He sniffed it out. Anytime action goes away from you when you're playing on the end of the defense, you got to look for something coming back. Huff was well dialed in to what the Vikings wanted to do.
Hurt that ankle back in preseason. He's been battling it all season long. Didn't play against the Chargers. Michael Huff, former 1st-round pick. 2nd down and 8. Blocked by Peterson. Ponder. Camarillo, the ex-Dolphin, cannot hold on to it at the 14-yard line. And coverage in the secondary provided by both McLean and Tyvon Branch.
I got to tell you, I like Christian Ponder. I like how poised he is. Watch him move. Feels the pressure, just slightly moves over to his right. Vision down the field, and then a nice throw. This pass should have been caught by Camarillo. It should be a 1st down for the Minnesota Vikings. These are the kind of plays that can derail a drive.
Okay, they've got the wrong down. It should be 3rd down, but they got the wrong down on the field.
Yeah, and you can see the Vikings coaches saying, hey, what's going on?
This is not a punting down. It should be 3rd down and 8. As Jerome Boger's crew, they
now,
really let something bad happen here.
The Vikings are calling timeout just so they can address it.
They got to get this straightened out. It should be 3rd down, and the guy holding the stake on the sideline is 4th.
Timeout, Minnesota.
Well, they shouldn't have to take a timeout. Yeah, they better get their shorts on straight here. 5:39 to play in the 1st.
Minnesota Vikings and Les Frazier, they were on top of it, Kevin. They called a timeout and was able to get the officials to see it the right way. We're going to show you the play that created a 1st down. It was the reverse by Percy Harvin. And then, of course, a holding penalty downfield. But this is 1st down now. 1st and 2 on the reverse and loss of Percy Harvin. This is 2nd down, the incompletion to Grant Camarillo. So now it should be 3rd down, not 4th down on the punt. And now they're explaining it. Even though they had it originally said it was 4th down, the timeout by the Minnesota Vikings helped the officials get it right. They're now going over to explain to Hugh Jackson it is not 4th down. Indeed, it is 3rd down, 3rd and 8 for the Minnesota Vikings.
And it's their own chain crew, too. You would think there'd be just a little bit of staying on top of that.
Some home sentiment,
well,
right?
Exactly. But the other issue here is the Vikings had to burn a timeout, and they shouldn't have had to do that because the officiating crew was wrong.
Yeah, it will cost them the timeout, even though you and I know it shouldn't.
Well, they shouldn't. They should give it to them back, which I don't know if they can.
Sometimes, you have to communicate with the chain gang that you are repeating first down.
We have a correction on the field of play. On the previous play, on the scoring play, where there was a 10-yard penalty, after the penalty was enforced, we should have replayed first down. We're now correcting the down. This is third down. Minnesota is not charged a timeout.
Well, congratulations to Joan Boger and his crew, because he did a good job of explaining what happened. And we all make mistakes. The key is to get it right, and they did get it right with the help of Les Frazier and the coaching staff for the Vikings.
But could 7 guys on the field in the striped shirts get that wrong?
Well, I think you know how it is. You're always thinking forward. You're always thinking proactive. The next thing, and then they didn't reset the chains, and they had it one down later in the drive than it originally was. 3rd and 8. Calvin with right punch, and he's got the first down, and a flag is thrown again on a defensive drive for the Raiders that has been littered with flags the entire way. The Vikings had one as well on a bad block. This is going to go against Oakland again and sustain this Minnesota drive.
Personal foul, tackled by the face mask. Defense, number 33. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Solomon, that is the 3rd personal foul on this drive on that Raider defense.
Started with Tommy Kelly, and then there's Tyvon Branch slinging him to the ground. Looked like he used the face, and you can see the most penalized team in the NFL since 2003 has been the Oakland Raiders, by far, than anyone else. And Hugh Jackson, he's approached and he said, hey, we're just not a smart football team right now.
It is 1st and 10 for the Vikings on their 2nd possession today. Adrian Peterson, Sullivan the center with a crackle, and that is a touchdown.
Well, the Raiders simply gave it to them, and the Minnesota Vikings were gracious enough to take it. Adrian Peterson right up the gut of the defense. Look, they just turn out on Henderson, get to the second level to block McClain, and then even blocking in the secondary. An excellent run and vision by Adrian Peterson, picking his way through the defense.
There's the extra point by Longway. Brian D'Imperio with a good block too, number 44. Ponder racing for the first down and 10. Then they got Imperio, and then a 12-yard burst by EP. With a 12-yard touchdown run, and for Adrian Peterson, number 1 in the NFL in touchdown runs. That was his 11th on the ground this season. Longwell's got it teed up at the 35. Deep back is the rookie out of Eastern Washington, Taiwan Jones. And he'll bring it from a yard out. Jones a 4th-round pick. Taiwan Jones taking the place of the injured Jacoby Ford, and he finds a gap and he takes it up, and he was brought down by Sanford along with Gerhardt. 46-yard return. Raiders get it back when we come back. 5:08 in the first from Minneapolis.
If you're going to build a fuel-efficient car, the first thing you got to do is make a car that's worth building.
From the Oakland Raiders.
3 personal foul penalties against Oakland on that Minnesota drive, totaling 42 yards. Good kickoff return by Taiwan Jones of 46. It's 1st and 10. Michael Bush out of Louisville. He picks up a couple yards going to the far side.
We're going to show you some of the blocking on this play. The best came from the fullback, Ryan D'Imperio, on the linebacker, Ronaldo McClain. And take a look at it as they turn out the 2 defensive tackles. All they do is turn out on the double team on Henderson. Fullback leads through, and watch the vision, anticipation, and patience of Adrian Peterson. Just excellent blocking and real good timing in the run game.
And linebacker, like we talked about at Rutgers in college. 2nd down and 8 here for Carson Palmer. With the hands of the wide receiver across the way, Darius Hayward-Bay. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
That was just a really good throw from Carson Palmer, and Hayward-Bay's got to make this catch. It's a comeback route, clear outside the numbers. And obviously, wide receiver and quarterback working on it for quite some time. He just didn't set his feet, gather himself, and extend himself to make the catch. Got to get yourself in a position to make a play.
Vikings will have 5 defensive backs. Denarius Moore will be at the top of your screen.
It's Jared Allen time on 3rd and long.
You got it, 3rd and 8. Screen pass. Bush, nice blocking ahead. And he runs. Wisniewski was leading the charge. Brought down by Sanford. And Griffin takes the catch and run to the 43, gain of 10.
How do you slow down Jared Allen? Look at Bush sneaking right up under him. They're going to make him check for any running back coming out his way. That's how you help your left tackle and slow down the speed of Jared Allen coming off the corner. You run at him, you throw screens and draws at him, hopefully slow him down a little bit.
1st and 10 for Bush. Huge hole. Brought down by E.J. Henderson. Close to a 1st down, 33-yard line. Right up the middle he went. Satelli and Wisniewski with some nice blocking.
The one thing the Raiders can do and hang their hat on is their ability to hammer away with the 4th best rushing attack in the National Football League. No matter whether if it's Darren McFadden, who's out of today's game with that foot injury, or Michael Bush. This kid was a prolific player coming out of Louisville and had a broken leg and fell to the 3rd round. Raiders were patient with him, allowed him to get healthy, and boy, he's coming up huge for the Raiders in a very tough spot with their star running back out.
He'd be a starter on a lot of teams in the NFL, would Bush.
No, absolutely. He's very good. We told you, catching out of the backfield, we saw on the screen play, and then you saw him running it with power up the middle of the Vikings defense.
We told you earlier, as you take a look at some of the numbers right there between these two players, last season and this season combined. One of the interesting things about what Bush did in that 157-yard rushing performance against San Diego, the most by a Raider since '70 in the merger between the two leagues. He passed Bo Jackson, who had that big game in '87 for 235. Bush had a combined 242.
Oh, that's just amazing. I think he had one of the best days in Oakland Raiders history, running and catching the football.
It was fun to watch the tape.
It was fun.
2nd and inches. Marcel Reese broke a Greenway tackle, got a block from Moore, and he's off to the races. All the way to the 14-yard line on a 20-yard burst by the former wide receiver at Washington.
We call them WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. You saw Bush, and this is Marcel Reese. He's more than a fullback. He's more than a running back. He's more than a tight end. He's a wide receiver as well. It's a position he played in college, and you can see how nifty he is despite being a very big man. And we haven't gotten the ball to Denarius Moore just yet.
1st and 10. Bush, he was just galloped up by Kevin Williams, devoured on a loss of 4, back at the 17.
Kevin Williams once teamed up with Pat Williams, who's no longer on the team, to make what was called the Williams Wall. And to see this run defense struggling a little bit this year, and they're not that bad because they're 6th overall. They were once the #1 ranked run defense each and every year. And you can see why. Kevin Williams still making plays.
It's 2nd down and 14. On the move, needs to get to the 4 and brought down on the play on a gain of 4. Jared Allen is right there, the ex-Chief, current Viking, and they'll spot him at the 14.
It's a Viking secondary that has been struggling. We talked about them being leaky as of late, but good coverage that time by Allen, by Sapp, by Griffin in the backfield, where Les Frazier once played for the Chicago Bears as an NFL defensive back, and so they forced Carson Palmer to eat a big-time 3rd down here inside the red zone.
Eagles secondary, 3rd down and 10. Blitz. Sanford caught by Boss. 3rd catch today, shy of the 1st down. He was initially hit by the linebacker after the gain of 3 of E.J. Henderson. So Boss goes down. They get as far as the 11, and they keep him out of the end zone.
And watch it to the right side of your screen. Henderson is in coverage, and look at him pursuing and tackling, and then Benny Sapp comes in to clean up. And not a bad choice in terms of going with the football, because Boss is 6'6", 255.
You can see the great success inside 45 for Janikowski. This will be a 29-yard try. He's only 2 of 4 since missing that Kansas City game with the hamstring. 3 on the board for the Raiders. That's how they answer the touchdown run of Adrian Peterson. Late in the first quarter, Bush had a nice 20-yard gain on that drive.
My electric bill was breaking the bank. So to save some money, I trained this team of guinea pigs.
Here in the first quarter, first place Oakland, 2-7 Minnesota. Now the first kickoff for Janikowski went to about the 10. This time he kicks it out of the end zone. He had a little chip shot last time to kind of play with Harvin and the deep back men.
Well, take a look at the Wild Wild West, Kevin. Tim Tebow. It's always Tebow time in Denver, where they've won 4 of their last 5 games. San Diego, they're in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, including a loss to the Oakland Raiders recently. And don't know what to make of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're on a roller coaster ride. Started 0-3, then won 4 straight, and has struggled as of late. And then there's a changing of the guard with the Oakland Raiders, where Carson Palmer has this team surging forward. But they have to come away with a win today here in Minnesota if they're going to continue to stay in first place.
Ponder with a 1st and 10 from his 20. Oh, what a big-time hit by Desmond Bryant, drilling Ponder.
Wow.
Came through hard and heavy.
Well, this will change things for a rookie quarterback.
That was a backwards throw. It was a backwards throw.
So it's a loss.
Absolutely, loss of 10.
Ball went out about, look at that. They just turned Bryant loose on the rookie quarterback, Christian Ponder. Ball goes out of bounds, so it's a loss of yards on the play.
Again, Seymour is going to be limited, so they've had to kind of juggle things on that defensive line.
Well, that changes things. For a young quarterback to get hit that hard,
yes,
you really have to be careful. You don't want him to start watching the pass rush. You want his vision down the field. 2nd down and 20. Adrian Peterson. Slipping by Wimbley. Brought down by Michael Huff, carrying a brigade on his back. It's a gain of 12, and he's up to the 22. He is so good, Kevin. And I got to tell you, this is Walter Payton-like, because you got 8 in the box. Look at all the white jerseys, but he won't go down. He's a tough man to tackle. He's very explosive.
And he's
high
hurt
in energy, and he comes up. He's got a leg injury there.
Yeah,
you saw how he was bent over on that play, and how he went down.
You said it before the game, only 191 yards from becoming the all-time leading rusher for the Minnesota Vikings. He's already had a 12-yard touchdown run today. That does not look good.
That does not look good at all. Watch how they roll up on his back leg. And these are the kind of plays where it can end up really bad. See how he's running now? Watch how they roll on his back of his leg, right there. That's Michael Huff on the tackle. And when you roll on the back of that leg, boy, you're exposed to injury. See there?
Ooh. Left ankle was knocked.
Literally ran out of his shoes. But see that? I think it's the right, left ankle, as you said, Kevin. With Huff draped over him, he lands on the back of the leg of Adrian Peterson.
His replacement will be Toby Gerhart. 3rd and 8. They come again. He gets away from Mitchell. One of the great attributes of Christian Ponder with a block by Aroma Shadu. All the way to the 50-yard line. 28-yard scramble, a Viking 1st down.
Well, this is a great escape by Christian Ponder in the shadow of his own end zone with defenders blitzing. He's able to elude Mitchell and still get beyond Tommy Kelly and the 1st down marker. Big-time play by Christian Ponder has this offense on the move.
I got to tell you, though, the concern of the Vikings is on Adrian Peterson. They look to him right now at the end of one. 7-3 Vikings.
But it looked like a really bad injury. Don't want to speculate too much, but the way they rolled up on the back of it, I hope he can get back into the game.
Fake to Harvin on the inverted wishbone. On 1st and 10. Harvin downfield. Curry jumps on his back. 26-yard line. A 24-yard hit by the quarterback, Ponder.
Well-designed play, and watch him just come screaming out of the backfield. He's so fast getting to the 2nd level. Blows right by Aaron Curry. It gets on top of the defense. So it's a well-designed play and excellent execution using the speed of Percy Harvin. Good throw from Carson Palmer. He's got this offense cooking. Boy, they really have bounced back and looking very good after that Monday night game in Green Bay.
Well, they lost at 45-7 on 1st and 10. Harvin for the throws of that defense. McClain makes the stop. It's a gain of 3 at the 23.
Adrian Peterson got off to a good start in this game, Kevin. 6 carries for 26 yards, hitting the corner, running like a Brahma bull through this Oakland Raiders defense, but still nifty enough to find the end zone. Very tough to tackle, but when he goes down here, Huff rolls up on the back of that ankle, shoe comes off, and now he's off the field.
There he goes. That is a developing story. Gerhardt is in 2nd down and 7. As they jump on his back and ride down the Stanford Cardinal on a gain of 3. The 20-yard line, Peterson will go to the locker room.
And as they take Peterson in for further evaluation, Toby Gerhardt, this is why they drafted him with a high pick in last year's draft, so that he can come in and give them something, some kind of productivity in the event that they should lose an Adrian Peterson.
Seymour is in, 3rd down and 5. Intercepted! Picked up by Giordano, and he's got blocking ahead. What a pick, and what a return to the 46-yard line. A 42-yard return. Ponder has just thrown his 4th interception of the year.
And Giordano gets his 2nd interception in the last 2 games. Big play down inside the red zone as he turns back a Vikings offense that had been on the move.
Late signing in camp, and here he is making another big play. Like Solomon said, had a huge interception in the San Diego game. Here comes Allen Palmer out of the way, right on the money. Darius Hayward-Bay to the Viking 23, pickup of 30. Raymond brings him down. Flag.
Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
That's a Valdir, the left tackle, going up against Jared Allen.
Yeah, one Jared against another. And wow, wipes out one of those big plays we talked about in the beginning, Kevin, that you would get from Carson Palmer in this passing game. And, you know, Jared Allen's going to make your work. Take a look at it right over there. Yeah, he literally lassoed him to the ground, allowing Carson Palmer to get that ball off. If you're going to go deep, the protection has to hold up long enough for Carson Palmer to get rid of the ball.
It's 1st down and 20. Bush. He was hit by E.J. Henderson. Driven back a yard to the 35 to New York, and James Brown.
A bad Cincy punt gave the Ravens good field position.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco, I'll tell you, JB, he seems to be better out of the pocket. Here he finds Anquan Bolden on the move. He takes it into the end zone, 35 yards out, and Baltimore ties up Cincinnati 7-7.
All right, let's take it back.
2nd down and 21. What a catch by Brandon Myers, the tight end. Working on Greenway to the 43-yard line. That's about a 20-yard gain and very close to a Raider 1st down.
On the previous catch by Hayward-Bay, it was the first time a wide receiver had caught a ball for Carson Palmer in this game. But Myers makes the play. These tight ends, Reese coming out of the backfield along with Bush, these are the only guys that have caught balls so far. And what catches they have made.
Myers out of Iowa now, and he's still here. 1st and 10, they're jumping. We've had a lot of penalties in this game. And we've had penalties wipe out big plays. Harvin had a 35-yard touchdown run wiped out for Minnesota. We just had a 30-yard pass to Hayward-Bay wiped out.
Defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's on LaTroy Guyan. It'll be 1st and 5. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report from New York, Mr. James Brown. He'll have Coach Bill Cowher, Dan Shannon Boomer, and special guest Houston Texan All-Pro running back Arian Clark. Scores, highlights, and news coming up from New York on the Sprint Halftime Report. 1st and 5. And the Vikes 38. 32 in December. That's Bush. Good block by Reese. Unleashing Bush to the 31. Brought down after a gain of 6, weaving his way right down the middle.
Oh, he got a tough runner, 6'1", 245 pounds, coming downhill. Kick out block from Reese. Good blocking from the tight end Myers, and dragging Greenway beyond the first down mark.
First and 10. Giordano's interception deep in Raider territory of rookie quarterback Christian Ponder sets up this Raider drive.
Single high safety, that means man-to-man coverage on the outside.
More bottom of your screen. He's going for more. Inside the numbers and the coverage by Asher Allen. Incomplete.
Flag is going to be down, but Palmer expected the receiver to do something else. That's why the ball fell short. He had the one-on-one coverage outside. He wanted him to bring it inside the numbers. See, he's supposed to be 2 yards inside the numbers on that route.
5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
People would probably be surprised to know, really, it comes down to almost a matter of inches and certainly feet on the precision these routes have got to be run.
And for a quarterback and wide receiver who didn't get training camp together, and Carson Palmer only been with this team for a short period of time, they're working on those things to try to get it cleaned up.
Work in progress.
That's right.
First and 5. There he's got more. Working on Allen. Has the first down. Slashing his way to the 12. 15-yard strike, a Raider first down.
And now the key for Carson Palmer, you get the single high safety, man-to-man coverage on the outside. You can attack on the perimeter to the wide receivers against Asher Allen. Remember, this is a team that's without Antoine Winfield. They're without Chris Cook. And then Cedric Griffin, one of their other top corners, he's less than 100% physically.
It's down and 10 from the 12. The tight end, Myers. Undercut across the way. Allen was there. It's a gain of 3. They'll spot him near the 10-yard line. The comfort and ease in such a short amount of time that the quarterback, Carson Palmer, is working with Hugh Jackson is very admirable. I mean, he's really had to pick up a lot in a short time.
And Hugh Jackson knows Carson well. He knows the plays on that play sheet to dial up for this quarterback. What did he tell us, Kevin? He said, everything we do on offense is built around the quarterback, Carson Palmer.
He's got a second down and 8 from the Viking 10. Outside, they're going for Marcel Reese. Boy, the Vikings have read the defensive chart here. Cedric Griffin along with Greenway. They had a defensive back and a linebacker covering the fullback.
Yeah, and Carson Palmer, you know, the key is for him to avoid the red zone turnovers. He's thrown some interceptions down inside the red zone. The Raiders have 3 turnovers in the red zone this year. They had none all of last year.
Trying to cash in on this Giordano interception, which is returned near midfield. 3rd down and 8. We've got a timeout.
Second charge, timeout, Oakland.
Raiders call their first timeout. He was wrong. 9:16 in the second.
This year, we wanted to be the best carolers in the neighborhood, so I hired the incomparable Beth Midler.
Better in the snow than Minneapolis. City was just gorgeous. A lot of snow up north of Minneapolis yesterday. 3rd down and 8 after the timeout by the Raiders. Five defensive backs. Bush with the block for Schillings. That is a Raider touchdown. What a catch. Doubled in the corner. An 11-yard hit, and the Raiders have taken over the lead.
What a throw from Carson Palmer. Just phenomenal play, throwing it over to Schillings. And watch this one. 2 defenders can't get there. He makes it in front of Allen, the safety, coming over to try to lend some help. Sanford can't get there, and he comes back to the ball and makes the play in front of Allen.
Chaz Schillings, a 7th-round pick out of San Diego State. He's had a lot of injuries, but comes through with his 10th reception of the season. 2nd touchdown reception, and Palmer right on the screws. And they're going to take a look at every scoring play is reviewed. Giordano's interception of Ponder set up that drive. Lumbering to take a look is Jerome Bogan. 9-10. in the first half.
Welcome back. Chaz Schillings making the catch in the end zone. They're taking a look at it, and Kevin, to complete, and we'll take a listen.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Yeah, to complete a pass, of course, the wide receiver has to maintain control of the ball. If it jostles loose, you still have to make sure you have it. And you're going to see this ball does come loose, and one cheek equals 2 feet, so he's down there, ball comes loose, but then he regains control of it before sliding out of bounds. The ball never hit the ground from what we could see there, Kevin.
Schillings with a good-looking catch of 11 yards. Nice throw and double team coverage by Palmer. Janikowski comes up with the extra point. First of all, they had the Giordano interception. Nice throw to the tight end Myers. Schillings with an acrobatic catch.
It's tough being a holiday ad.
Answered points by the Oakland Raiders. Schillings with an 11-yard leaping touchdown reception on the pass by Carson Palmer. 10 unanswered. Raiders on top. Ensuing kickoff. A little bit short right here. And this is Sherrills, who is from the state of Minnesota. Off to the races. And out of bounds. Jerome Boyd steers him out of play at the 45 on a 35-yard return. The Home Depot SEC on CBS heats up the holiday season. Friday, the Razorbacks tangle with the top-ranked LSU Tigers. On Saturday, rivals Alabama and Auburn clash in the Iron Bowl. Beginning with the college football today, this is your home of college football and the most important teams in college football. CBS. First and 10 from the 45. Ponder. Chased by Scott. Asante Shenko with the grab. Brought down by Branch. A gain of about 4 up to the 49-yard line for Shenko.
I want to go back to some of those college games that we're going to see. I think some of my fondest memories of college football occurred from watching those games over Thanksgiving weekend. And that is one heck of a lineup.
Especially Alabama, Auburn. Last year, remember that? Auburn tried to protect that undefeated record. And Alabama had the big lead, and Auburn came storm back with Cam Newton. CBS, second down and 6. Toby Gerhart taking the place of the injured Adrian Peterson out with an ankle. Heard it earlier in the game. That's a gain of 3. Gerhart out of Stanford, and Trevor Scott off the bottom of the pocket.
Now, Gerhart is not the same kind of runner Adrian Peterson is. In fact, no one in the National Football League is the same kind of runner that Adrian Peterson is. But if you're Toby Gerhart, what you have to do, keep the offense on schedule, create third and medium, third and short by getting positive gains. He did that on that play.
Raiders have 6 in the secondary, third down long, 3, and everybody's moving.
Uh-oh. I had to send you back to third and long.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Joe Berger, who's taking the place of the injured Anthony Herrera, who is missing his 3rd consecutive game at that guard for the Vikings.
Yeah, Berger has really struggled there, and Herrera being out, he's got to play better. And this is a real stout and strong Oakland Raiders defensive line.
Seymour is in, 3rd and 8. Gets by Kelly. He's got the first down. Giordano with the beat on him. Slides at the 36. A scramble at 16. He's had runs today of 10 and 28 yards. Now 16 there.
And now Christian Ponder is the leading rusher for the Minnesota Vikings in this game with runs like this. And this will force the Raiders to come out of some of that man-to-man coverage. He's very smart at understanding that once the defenders turn their back to him in man-to-man coverage, once he breaks through the line of scrimmage, it's all green field for him to go running. So he's studying this defense. He sees man-to-man coverage. He knows he can tuck and run.
Tim, who in Denver?
That got to be Tim Tebow doing some of the same things.
Empty backfield, 1st and 10. Ponder. Harvin. Looks by McClain. Ludo. Shepard was down there also. Cam Wembley. It's a gain of 3 by the elusive Harvin. Down to the 33-yard line. Stay in the game all season long with the NFL's new selection of mobile apps. Get unparalleled access to stats, fantasy news, video, and more. Go to NFL.com/mobile today. 2nd down and 7. Harvin is out. He's tying his shoe.
Oh, Christian Ponder's looked good in the first half of this ball game. He's made some nice throws. Yes, he did throw the interception, but he's tucking and running it. Boy, he's showing some great speed.
Gerhard is in. Blitz from Branch. Out of the way to Camarillo. That's a gain of 4, and Stanford Rout was on the coverage, 29-yard line of the Oakland Raiders.
Christian Ponder getting off to a really good start in this game. 9 for 11, 67 yards early in the game, and we talked about rhythmic passing, dumping it off real quick, and then using his legs to make some plays and convert 3rd downs into 1st down. But then when he got aggressive down inside the red zone, picked off by Matt Giordano, and now he's got the offense on a move again and have to do a better job of protecting the ball in scoring position.
Harvin is in. 3rd and 3. They wrap him up. Cam Wembley was the first to get his hand around his ankle. It is a loss of a yard. They're back to the 30-yard line, and they'll have to settle for 3. Good Raider defense on that series.
Well, now they might want to abandon these kind of plays, that reverse action, trying to get the ball around the edge of Cameron Wembley. He's already shown he's doing a good job of setting the edge and not allowing the runner to break containment.
This will be a 49-yard try by Longwell. Missed his only attempt in Green Bay. Oh, he didn't get through. He thought it was going to be blocked by Branch, and that was a great defensive play. Kluwe goes down. Longwell hesitated because Tyvon Branch came streaming through.
Tyvon Branch is one of the more underrated players on this entire Oakland Raider defense. He does so many things well. Look at it. He gets back there, and he comes off the corner, but then he's able to make the tackle as well. You'll see him coming off the edge right here. Look at this. See how he keeps his feet? He wanted to pick the ball up, even though they had placed it on the ground. He's ready to pick it up, still makes the tackle. He makes plays in special teams, in the nickel coverage, in their base defense. He's getting a lot done for the Oakland Raiders.
On their own 43, 1st and 10, Michael Bush. That's a gain of 3. Kevin Williams, 5-time All-Pro defensive lineman, brings them down at the 46.
Hugh Jackson talked about it, Kevin. He says, we've yet to play the complete game all season long. He's looking for a complete game for the Oakland Raiders. Offense, defense, special teams, and getting rid of the penalties.
It's 2nd down and 7. Palmer is very comfortable in this no-huddle.
Oh, he is more comfortable, and he's had some time to work with these guys with the wide receivers. I tell you, when he cuts it loose, it looks like he's comfortable.
Reese a lead block. Wisniewski a block, and there goes the galloping Bush to the 26-yard line of the Vikings. 28-yard run. Run out of bounds by Jamarcus Sanford.
And watch the fullback. Watch Reese on this, leading through. Looking to wrap around and seal it, but they seal off Henderson. Kicks out the safety at the 2nd level. And Bush just did a really good job of staying behind his fullback. You got 2 big guys coming downhill at you right there.
To the end zone for more on 1st and 10. He was bumped and no yellow on the field. Asher Allen was defending the Tennessee speed merchant Moore.
And you know, Moore is a young player, and he gets knocked off course. Now watch him go out of bounds here. He drifts too far toward the sideline. He's out of bounds at this point anyway. And Asher and Allen just does a really good job of widening the wide receiver, not allowing Moore to get on top into the football.
Tywan Jones in the backfield, 2nd down and 10 here from the 26. Jones. Nice tackle made by Chad Greenway. That's a gain of 2 to the 24 of the Vikes.
Well, you get the sense right now that the Oakland Raiders are starting to assert themselves physically. They're starting to win the battle of time of possession. I think with Adrian Peterson out of the game, what Adrian Peterson does, he protects your defense and keep them off the field by helping the offense stay on schedule. And now this Oakland Raiders team seem to be taking control of the game by keeping the Vikings defense on the field and hammering away with a running game.
Sapp is the 5th defensive back, 3rd and 8. For Carson Palmer. That's caught by Hayward Bay, and a good catch it was. He's got the 1st down, chiseling his way to the 15. Brought down on the play in the secondary by Johnson.
Remember we talked about Rudolph early on, made the catch and drifted to the sideline. Now watch him stop and get vertical. So you got to stop and press the line of scrimmage to hit that first down marker. He made it by inches, but that move right there to get going downhill is what got him the first down.
Another first down. Taiwan Jones remains. First and 10 pitch to Jones. Working on Allen. Picked by the other Allen. One time Jarrett, then Asher, and he goes for a yard down to the 14-yard line.
Taiwan Jones, he brings something else to the table. We talk about Michael Bush being a load at 245. Well, Taiwan Jones, they say he may be the fastest player on the team. And that's saying a lot with Jacoby Ford and Denarius Moore.
He's from the Bay Area, and Taiwan Jones had a 4.340 at the combine. Speed kills. We're at the 2-minute warning. The Raiders are moving again.
My sister's new boyfriend told her that he thinks Sundays are just...
We'll take you to our studios in New York at halftime for the Sprint Halftime Report. James Brown and company, plus special guest, Houston Texan All-Pro running back Arian Foster. Coming up next from New York on CBS. 2-minute warning, 2nd and 9. Vikings have watched the Raiders score 10 unanswered points. Adrian Peterson is out of the game, injured in the final minute of the first quarter. Shovel pass. That's Marcel Reese. A block by Bush, and he takes it to the 2. Brought down by E.J. Henderson. A run of 12. First and goal, Oakland.
Well, Hugh Jackson, he's very creative. We talked about him thinking outside the box. The shovel pass to Reese. There's so many different players they can do so many different things with. The diversity and talent of the weapons they have in this offense, what leaves you guessing if you're on the defensive side for the Minnesota Vikings. And Hugh Jackson has a lot of tricks in that bag.
Good catch and run at 12. First and goal. Bush is in. Reese the block. Another Raider touchdown. They've scored 16 unanswered points on the Vikings.
And that was no trick. That was just hammering away. In the 10 games so far this year, they had scored 7 times in the final 2 minutes of the first half, and add another touchdown to the mix. Carson Palmer leading this offense. I think they're playing as well as we've seen them play all season long, even without Darren McFadden.
5th rushing touchdown for Michael Bush. Here is the extra point by Janikowski, making it 17-7. As Bush taking the place of the injured Darren McFadden rolls on in.
Boring toast. We're giving you a makeover at Sonic.
Going head first into the end zone. You need more air in that helmet, don't you? Huh?
Well, they're going to give it to him plenty more time, so certainly want to make sure he doesn't run out. He's done a really good job filling in for Darren McFadden. A lot of questions being asked over there on the Minnesota Vikings sideline.
Here's the ensuing kickoff. Lorenzo Booker. And a fumble on the play and a 16-yard return. The Vikings have coughed it up. And the Raiders have gotten it back. Maybe Hushmanzada. Maybe Van Dyke.
They're fighting one another for the ball.
Mitchell was there. It was. The rookie gets it. DeMarcus Van Dyke. And look where the Raiders will start.
Costly mistake. Got to protect the ball. Look at the hit right there. Smacked right in the face. Dislodges the ball. Van Dyke falls on it.
Now you could really put your foot on their throat as they line up at the 16-yard line with the first down and 10, and the rookie Van Dyke with a big smile on his face. Carson Palmer to Michael Bush. And from behind was Lasso. They got Greenway on him, and also Jamarcus Henry. It is a gain of 4.
Listen to this hit.
Brandon Myers.
Brandon Myers. We've seen him make some beautiful catches over the middle of the field. He's putting in work on special teams, Kevin. Laying licks on Booker.
2nd down and 6. And that is caught by Kevin Boss, the ex-Giant, to the 2. Work in the middle. Greenway the stop. Pickup of 11. 1st and goal. Raiders.
This is a weapon Carson Palmer never had in Cincinnati. A tight end this big as Kevin Boss. Look at that ball. If it's not caught by the 6'6", 255-pound Boss, it's going to be tipped off his hands and possibly intercepted. Palmer is carving up this Minnesota Vikings defense right now. 11 of 14 in the game, already over 100 yards passing.
Boss has got passes of 7, 9, and 6 and 11 yards on this first half.
Carson Palmer told us that he was comfortable with the players and with the playbook, and we've seen evidence of it to the tight ends, Boss, and then Myers, touchdown Schillings. He's operating inside the red zone, and you can see him cutting it loose with great anticipation. That shows you he's got a high comfort level in the offense, and the numbers prove it.
Satelli, the center, will leave. He had a knee injury last week, did not play against the San Diego Chargers. I don't know if he got hit that time in the knee or if he just got one in the noggin, but we'll try to update that. Now, when he was gone last week, Wisniewski was the center, which happens right here. Stefan Heyer becomes the left guard in place of Wisniewski. The quarterback sneak by Carson Palmer on 1st and goal. Did not get in.
They were trying to push him in from the back. I don't know that he was ever down.
The injury timeout within 2 minutes takes a timeout away from the Raiders. They just called their final timeout right there.
I know some coaches that would never do this with their prized quarterback. You want your quarterback leading with his head into that mass of humanity and those bodies pounding away at your quarterback. That's why you pay the running backs.
Well,
let
sure.
them pound away.
You had someone as big as Bush.
I just know coaches who do not agree that you should use your quarterback for those purposes.
That's an ominous stat right there on that Viking D. So the timeout was taken by the Raiders, and they're out of timeouts. And Bush and Reese will be in the game. It'll be 2nd down and goal. A fumble on the kickoff return gives the Raiders position at the 16, now all the way to the 1. 2nd and goal. Palmer's in. Although now they finally confirm it.
He's deep in the end zone.
He's deep into it, yeah.
Hugh Jackson's thinking touchdowns by any means necessary.
That's a 1-yard touchdown run by Palmer.
Look at the score right now. Carson Palmer just plunges in. Hugh Jackson said that he felt like his offense was rolling coming into this game with over 400 yards total offense in their last 2 games against San Diego and Denver. He felt like they were leaving points on the field with some of their turnovers.
How about this? If he doesn't get in right there with no timeouts remaining, that clock just continues to go.
Gutsy call.
It was, yeah. Kind of a surprising call. Here's Sebastian Janikowski with the extra point. Raiders are running away from the Minnesota Vikings 24-7 with 8 seconds to play in the first half. Looking every bit the first place team they are. Well, tomorrow on an all-new day from CBS News, Gayle King, plus Ty Burrell, and later this week, Justin Bieber. Followed by the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. That's only on CBS.
Well, Carson Palmer told us that he's as happy as he's ever been. He said that, it's a good environment for honesty, something that he feels his head coach, Hugh Jackson, brings to the table. In fact, all the players will tell you Hugh Jackson is one of the more honest coaches they played for. He'll tell you, he says, hey, every Tuesday I'm searching the waiver wire. And if you won't get it done, I will find a player who will. Carson Palmer feels like a coach with that attitude and that kind of honesty. He said there are no elephants in the room. And he feels that this is just a wonderful environment. And he didn't even think he'd get this second chance to play this year. He really thought that he would have to sit out the entire year before he played football again.
Janikowski. That's taken by Booker. He'll race up the middle. And so the Vikings will have it after the 20-yard return, 1st and 10, as you take a look at some of the numbers from the first half.
Yeah, and a couple of turnovers. The Raiders have been able to take advantage of those to put points on the board. They've had good sound running with Michael Bush and just about all the receivers, tight ends, and fullbacks catching the ball where really the wideouts for the Minnesota Vikings have yet to really get it going.
Onto a knee. 24 unanswered points by the Oakland Raiders. Schillen's got a touchdown pass from Palmer, a 2-yard touchdown run by Bush, a 1-yard touchdown run by Carson. At halftime. The Vikings with 2 turnovers. Oakland 14 points off those turnovers. 24 unanswered Oakland points.
Well, how about the Oakland Raiders? They've taken a couple of turnovers and were able to turn it into points, as you talked about. The Christian Ponder interception and then the subsequent return after getting the fumble on the kickoff return and then getting it into the end zone. And Palmer was able to run it in for a touchdown. So he's played well. The offense and defense has played well. Hugh Jackson looking for a complete game from his team.
As we take a look at the NFL mobile recap presented by Verizon.
Well, I think it comes to you on the touchdown pass from Carson Palmer to Chaz Schillens for the touchdown. Acrobatic catch and even better throw from Carson Palmer. They've been on the attack, and Palmer has used a variety of weapons to put up some numbers in this game.
Through 30 minutes of football, those are some of the numbers. The first place Raiders and the 2-7 Minnesota Vikings.
And you can see the 2 turnovers by the Minnesota Vikings. And then the 14 points by the Oakland Raiders. Right now, the Raiders are playing really good football. They can play better in terms of the penalties, but right now off to a good start.
Carson Palmer with some terrific numbers. 11 of 14, 109 yards, a touchdown pass of 11. He's hit 7 different receivers, which is a big mark for the Raiders.
And they've been steady. I mean, they just had some really good plays, not of the long variety down the football field like what you saw the last time they played on Thursday night against the San Diego Chargers. Sooner or later, though, you know they want to go deep because Hugh Jackson is a very aggressive play caller.
Jacoby Ford is out inactive today. Deep back is one of the newest Raiders, Brian McCann. Signed this week. He's a former Dallas Cowboy. He had fumbling issues. He's up to the 18-yard line and brought down by D'Ambrosio on a 22-yard return.
You know, some of the key plays from the first half. How about the injury to Adrian Peterson? That derailed the Vikings offense because Christian Ponder now has to carry the offense, throws the interception. A botched field goal. Tyvon Branch gets in on the play. And then when Booker fumbles this kickoff and the Raiders recover it, now they know they can open the floodgates to put more points on the board. And that's where they begin to pull away big time.
So Palmer starts out at his 18, first down and 10. Marcel Reese. Greenway brings him down. At the 28, it is a pickup of 11. Raider first down.
Just a real good play. They come out hammering away. Look at Reese as they pull the backside guard. Nice little kick out. And they did just a really good job of setting up that play to get the runner to the second level.
Time the Raiders were in first place this late in the season, 2002. It's the year they won the division and the AFC Championship. First and 10. Michael Bush. And initially, Kevin Williams got a hand on him, a big fistful of jersey. It's loss of a yard back to the 27.
Raiders just actually they're just using the running game now to try to pound away at this Vikings defense. We said the Vikings defense was a really good one. As you can see, Adrian Peterson coming back out. Not sure if he'll return.
Hurt it late in the first quarter. His ankle. Second down and 11. Wisniewski is still the center. No more Satelli. Busted play. Hit the deck. That's what he does. E.J. Henderson throws him for a loss of 6 back to the 22.
No, they sniffed this one out really well. And Ballard, look at him coming off the end right there. It's actually going to be Robeson who comes in off that left end to contain Carson Palmer.
Satelli has a concussion, we have been told, so Wisniewski plays the center. And Stefan Heyer will play Wisniewski's position of left guard. Bush in the backfield, 3rd and 17. They need the 39. Bush again. Broke a tackle from Williams. And is up to the 32. Well shy of the first down. Here comes E.J. Henderson, a little bit gimpy off the field. It's a gain of 10. Greenway there for the stop. And the Raiders have got a punt on their first second half possession.
All right, Chad Greenway comes up with a force and authority, making that tackle on Bush to prevent the first down.
Leckler will punt. Sherrills is deep back for the Minnesota Vikings inside the 20. Great hang time, and Sherrills from the University of Minnesota, 17-yard line. Hang time of 4.78. He was rocked by Rock Cartwright. Makes the play. 51-yard punt. Christian Ponder comes back out for the Minnesota Vikings.
Southwest makes the call.
We had a personal foul on the Raiders on the return. DeMarcus Van Dyke ran out of bounds. He was the gunner. So we had the return of the Vikings. Penalty puts it to the 38 for Christian Ponder. First down and 10 for Minnesota's offense.
And there is Adrian Peterson. You can see what has happened since he left the game. That's when the Oakland Raiders began taking control. They put 21 points on the board since he left the game with that ankle injury. And the Minnesota Vikings offense has stalled with 2 turnovers and only 71 yards to show. Vikings have third quarter issues, outscored by 64 points this season in the third. Now 24-7, 1st and 10 for Ponder. Incomplete for Shenko. Coverage by Tyvon Branch out of UConn. Yeah, the third quarter has been just a nightmare for this offense. You can see where they haven't been able to score, and they've allowed teams to score. They've given up 91 points in this quarter, most of any defense in the National Football League. You can see the worst point differential. So the inability to score on offense and the inability to stop people on defense has made it a real bad quarter for the Vikings. Toby Gerhart on 2nd down and 10. He works his way up to the 46. Aaron Curry among many on his back, and it's a pickup of 8 yards. And now they need Toby Gerhart to lift this offense. And you can see him pounding it up the middle. He's very fast. He's got some speed for a big guy. He's got to be a difficult guy to get on the ground. Got to break some tackles. 6 defensive backs, 3rd down and 2. Gerhart out of the backfield. Room to roam against Giordano. He's got the first down. Out of bounds at about the 47-yard line of the Oakland Raiders for the Vikings on a catch and run of 7. Oh, it was a great catch. He got the first down, but the system by itself got him that. You have to make Giordano miss in the open field if you're Gerhart. Don't just go out of bounds. Got to make him miss. Make it more difficult on the defense, but good catch and run to create the first down. First down and 10.
Down! Ready!
He got away from Kelly, but he does not get away from Lito Shepard. 3rd sack by the Raiders. First sack by Shepard this season. Here's Shepard here. Watch him coming in underneath. And that's just a really good play. He just tracks down Christian Ponder and takes him down hard.
It's decline. 2nd down.
There was a hold against the Vikings. It was called right there on Charlie Johnson, who has played in a couple of Super Bowls with the Indianapolis Colts. Shepard, a 2-time Pro Bowler, getting the sack. Declined by the Raiders. 2nd down now. Yeah, Johnson struggled so far today, Kevin. He's had a couple of holding calls, and he's wiped out some big plays also. 2nd down, 13. And Gerhart is in the running for the Heisman while at Stanford. Run out of bounds. Nice play right there by Tyvon Branch, who is the Raiders' leading tackler. There's no gain on the play. Other than the reverse play that went for a touchdown, yet it was called back by Percy Harvin.
this Vikings offense, they can't run and get outside of the speedy Oakland Raiders defense. And I think you've got to just design plays where you're going to start maybe as if you're going outside, but then sooner or later got to get coming downhill. You got to press the line of scrimmage. This Raiders defense too athletic and too fast.
Lorenzo Booker in the backfield, 3rd and 13. That's a first down reception by Rudolph. Hit by Branch. Bar flying is down back at midfield. The gain to the 35, 15 yards as it stands now.
Illegal shift. Offense, number 82. The receiver made a shift and did not get set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
So they had a 35-yard touchdown run by Harvin, wiped out with the penalty back in the first half. They have a 15-yard gain right there, called by offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave, wiped out by a penalty again.
Yeah, it was called on Kyle Rudolph. He was the tight end who caught the ball from Carson Palmer. He just didn't get set after moving. Musgrave, I think, has done a good job of the offense based on what he's had to deal with.
3rd and 18 into the hands of the intended receiver, Michael Jenkins.
Ponder wishes he had this one back on 3rd down. He had Jenkins wide open over the middle of the field. Kind of threw himself out of sync and out of rhythm. He pump faked it and then tried to reload and pull the trigger. And that's why you get the high throw over the head of Jenkins. Had he caught that one in stride, it would have been a nice catch and run.
And Denarius Moore is deep back for the Raiders. Chris Cluey will punt for the Minnesota Vikings. Rush from Groves. Oh, what a kick. He gets it at the 5. And he's brought down right there. Nice special teams play by the Vikings. Good punt. Larry Dean made the tackle. 50-yard punt.
PJ's non-slip slippers, a streaming player, and a Sony big screen HD TV.
Then for the Oakland Raiders, who have scored 24 unanswered points. Second possession here in the second half. First down and 10. Palmer to Bush. And hit by E.J. Henderson, 9-year veteran out of Maryland. That's a gain of 3 to the 8.
Right, Carson Palmer. Remember, what did he tell us? He said he had started to give up hope that he would be able to play this season. He said, 2 days before the trade deadline, he gets a call, and then from then on, it was a whirlwind. He said everything happened all of a sudden. Next thing you know, he's playing football, and it made his head spin, as you saw in that first game against Kansas City, but he has since settled in.
Second down and 7. Bush again. E.J. Henderson again. Out to about the 11-yard line and a gain of 3. In fact, Carson Palmer arrived in Oakland the day of Al Davis's funeral.
Well, there were a lot of things going on, and remember, they were restructuring his contract. He's trying to get into football shape. He said he hadn't even touched a football in the previous 2 weeks and didn't get any reps with the #1 team that week in practice. Been on the team for 2 days. Next thing you know, he's thrown in a game against Kansas City.
It's 3rd down and 3. Bush again. Shy. I think it was E.J. Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson knifed in underneath to make the tackle. You wonder why Hugh Jackson didn't want to throw it down there. I don't think he wanted to risk a turnover. Carson Palmer had gone 5 for 5 on his last 5 attempts on 3rd down, hitting 4 different receivers. So maybe should have tried to throw it yet again on 3rd down.
Here comes Shane Leckler now to punt. And Sherrills is back inside the 40 for the Minnesota Vikings. Leckler is one of the best in the business. Great athlete in high school. Texas A&M as a punter. And Pro Bowl virtually every year of his career. Woo! Look at this one.
And this is why.
Oh, Lord, what a punt. Back to the 24. Sherrills. Great aim time, great distance. 64-yard punt. Nice return of 14 yards by Marcus Sherrills. 7:34 in the 3rd.
Why did we build a 556 horsepower luxury car with a manual transmission?
And the Dallas Cowboys, beginning with a special holiday edition of the NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines.
I'll be watching.
I will be too. 1st and 10 for Ponder. Hit by Curry. And through the hands and dropped by Jenkins, incomplete. Shepard on the coverage.
Now let's take a look at some of our midseason grades for this rookie draft class quarterbacks. Cam Newton gets an A- minus the wins, and Andy Dalton, I'm going to check him in with an A- as well. And Jake Locker, he gets an incomplete because he hasn't played a whole lot. Blaine Gabbert checks in with a C. Can do a much better job there in Jacksonville. That leads us to Christian Ponder, part of that rookie draft class of quarterbacks. And right now, he's grading at about a C. We'll see as the game goes on.
2nd down and 10 for Ponder. Here comes Bryant. There goes Ponder. He's got to eat the ball. Down he goes at about the 35. 4th sack by the Raiders, who had 6 sacks 10 days ago against San Diego.
Can't put this one all on him. Take a look, coming right around the corner. Look at that. Just getting right to the quarterback. He didn't have a chance to even set up in the pocket. Pressure coming in from Bryant from the blind side.
Now Ponder's going to look at 6 defensive backs on 3rd and 13. It's Jenkins well shy of the 1st down. Shepard's got a hold of him, brings him down, 42-yard line. That's a gain of 7 on the play. You know, the Vikings have used 5 different quarterbacks over the last couple years as you watch this play, which means very little. They're well shy. But they've had Brett Favre, Travaris Jackson, Joe Webb, McNabb, and Ponder. I mean, so they've gone through all kinds of quarterbacks.
And one may have to argue that when they took Ponder in the 1st round and brought in Donovan McNabb, the veteran quarterback, and McNabb, let's face it, it didn't work out. And so now you need Ponder to accelerate his growth. He gets to start the final 10 games of the season and go into 2012 with some experience.
Cluey. Denarius Moore. Shakes free of Frampton. It's a big block on the play. The punter to beat. And from behind, he is brought down. Big time hustle by Craig Camarillo, a backup wide receiver. Raiders again with good beginning field position.
At the World Beer Cup, Miller Lite has won gold 4 times.
Minnesota, Oakland, 1st down and 10. Good block by Bush. Then they came in waves, and coming through was Anatolu.
Well, I tell you what, the Raiders have been physical in this game. It's what Hugh Jackson loves about his football team. Aaron Curry with a hit on Kyle Rudolph. Desmond Bryant getting a lick on the quarterback, Christian Ponder. And Brandon Myers laying a stamp on Booker, forcing the fumble, putting points on the board. When you play physical, 6 sacks on the day, hitting the quarterback, good things tend to happen for your football team.
Archdale is in, 2nd down and 10. Reese been taken down. Fred Evans was over there with the stop. Loss of 6 to New York and James Brown.
All right, looks like this is a replay, Coach.
I'll tell you, got to be impressed with Cincinnati going back-to-back. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, back-to-back weeks. 3-yard Benson run, 17-14 Cincinnati. They are a tough out, and they're playing that way.
Nip and tuck there indeed, Kevin and Solomon.
We like the Bengals.
How about those Bengals going into M&T Bank Stadium and giving the Ravens all they can handle?
On 3rd and 16. Good catch by Bush. Shy of the 1st down. They were coming through. Evans drilled Palmer. It's a gain of 10, and they'll be down to the 42-yard line of Minnesota. They'll have to punt.
Yeah, they're getting some pressure on Carson Palmer. Protection not holding up as well as it had once had in the 1st half. Fred Evans putting pressure on Palmer. He's forced to dump it off, and I'll tell you, better coverage on the back end of this secondary than what we've seen from the Vikings in recent weeks.
Depleted secondary for Minnesota. So the Raiders secondary has been hit by injury as well. Sherrill's back inside the 10 for Minnesota. Game where the Raiders have scored 24 unanswered points. Van Dyke losing it in the lights. Touchback to the 20, 42-yard punt. 4:26 in the third. Peterson out late first quarter. We haven't seen him since. He's on the sideline but has not played. Rush from Bryant and picked off on the deflection. Big Tommy Kelly coming up with the pick. Third Viking turnover.
Well, this is just a bad decision by the rookie quarterback, Carson Palmer. He starts to roll out, but you do not throw this ball late across your body back over the middle of the field. See, once you get out, you don't throw that. There was never a receiver open, and you're just going to get in trouble with pressure in your face, back across your body, so all the mechanics are screwed up, and that ball gets tipped. And watch it here. As you can see, this is Lito Shepherd. He's going in for the pick. He tips it up. Kelly comes down with it.
So here comes now the Raiders from the 24, 1st and 10. Little play action. Good time. Barksdale with the good block. Higher with the good block. And this is Boss. Out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Whacked over there by Cedric Green. It's a Griffin, rather. It's a gain of 7.
You got to just love the big bodies that Carson Palmer has to throw it to, whether it's Bush, whether it's Reese, whether it's Myers, and this Kevin Boss. Watch how nifty he is in the open field. Steps over guys. Couldn't avoid that second one. Coming in, laying a lick to the chest of Boss, but he shook it off.
Lions have caught 7 balls today. 1st and 10, 2nd down, and 3 in the handoff to the 13-yard line with the run. Michael Bush.
I think we're getting that complete game that Hugh Jackson was looking for. The defense is forcing turnovers. We've seen the special teams force turnovers. 3 takeaways so far today. Got 14 points. It could make it 21 points off turnovers if they score a touchdown right here. And they're very good playing on a short field. Whenever they get the ball coming off the turnover, they're used to scoring. And this Vikings defense has been found it very challenging to stop teams who get the ball in plus territory.
The other who's been quiet today is Jared Allen. He's had no sacks, no tackles, 1 assist.
Well, they're keeping him honest. And Hugh Jackson said they were going to do a number of different things. They're chipping away at him with Marcel Reese. Bush, of course, running screens toward him where he has to check for anything coming back his way before he gets to go hunt the quarterback. But here's a guy who's had a sack, as you said, in 11 consecutive games.
So the Raiders will have a 3rd and 1. As you just took a look at the defensive coordinator, Fred Puggich. First year as defensive coordinator after 10 years in the NFL as an assistant. 3rd and 1. Bush. Reese with the block. Tackle made by Robinson. That is a 1st down. The Vikings have not stopped the 3rd and 1 all season long. That's a gain of 3 and a 1st down.
Yeah, that's tough because those are opportunities to get off the field, Kevin, or force a field goal in this case. And so that just leads to more wear and tear on your defense when you can't stop a team at 3rd and 1.
1st down. Playing that right tackle. Handoff Bush. Good block by Cooper Carlisle. Leading the way to the 4 on a gain of 8 by Michael Bush.
Boy, this is just a load of an offensive line. And you got big bodies running behind them. And you talked about, well, look, 66. Look at him get to the next level on Greenway. And that's what allows Bush to have a positive gain. So the offensive line is clicking and the running game is clicking. I think it's amazing they're able to do all of this without Darren McFadden, who was so good in the early part of the season.
Barnes back into that right tackle. 2nd down and 2. Barnes just moved.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
They've done a lot with this playbook to really edit it to fit Carson Palmer. And that's Hugh Jackson's idea.
That's what he said. It's all about the quarterback. We're going to tailor it around Carson Palmer. What does Palmer do well? Throw the ball on time. 3-step, 5-step drop, ball out. He can make all the throws anywhere on the field. And they have the complement of weapons, the speed at wide receiver to stretch the field. Then the big bodies we talked about, the tight end and fullback and running back position. for quick, easy throws over the middle of the field.
Second down and 7. Push. Blocked by Heyer and read well by Chad Greenway and the Vikings on a gain of a yard.
This is a great play by Chad Greenway. He sniffed it out. He was blitzing to try to go get the quarterback just in case it was a pass. But he read that it was going to be a draw. Watch him come here. Look at this. That's just an incredible play. It makes that tackle. He was coming on a delayed blitz, but once he read that it was going to be a run, he peeled off and went to go tackle the runner.
It's 3rd and 6. Incomplete. Looking for Boss. Coverage on the play by Jamarcus Sanford and Tyrell Johnson. So
I got to
settle for 3.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the protection was so good. Palmer was getting antsy back there. Felt like he needed to unload that hand grenade he's holding. But watch how he's hopping around, waiting for somebody to get open. And as he held it another bit, you can see Boss was coming open. But he felt the time in the pocket was expiring.
26-yard field goal here by Sebastian Janikowski. Three more, 27 unanswered points by the Oakland Raiders.
This is the most American game played.
When we graduate, we'll be on the same team. But when we're on that field, we do not like each other.
They're there for a special reason. It's not just about the football.
Great tribute to the men and women who honor our country by giving us their time, their lives, their service. That's the Game of Honor. Premiering December 21st only on Showtime, and a special behind-the-scenes look December 3rd on CBS. You and I have had a chance to watch that. It is so well done.
No, it is wonderful. It speaks to honor and love of country and great patriotism. You see the sacrifices that so many young men make so that we can continue with our daily lives. We get to enjoy football on Sundays, get to enjoy a wonderful, peaceful Thanksgiving. And we can't thank these men and women enough for what they do for us each and every day.
All month long, the NFL is honoring our servicemen and women. Janikowski. And this is running back Lorenzo Booker. Played in the United Football League. Getting the block, making a miss, out to the 28. That's a 28-yard return by Booker, who played at Florida State, originally a 3rd-round pick by the Miami Dolphins.
This is where we find out a lot about Christian Ponder. He struggled a little bit in this game. We've seen some good, some bad, and some ugly, quite frankly, on that last interception. I think his coaching staff knows it. He knows that he should not have attempted to throw that ball late over the middle. But he still has time left here in the 3rd quarter and in the 4th quarter to put points on the board and get this offense going. That's where growth and development occurs for a young quarterback.
Andrew Peterson watching on the sideline. 1st down and 10. Toby Gerhardt, who's not been getting a lot of handoffs. But with Peterson down, here he is now in a starring role on a gain of 4 to the 32.
Yeah, you might say the young guns are now in for this Minnesota Vikings team, as Adrian Peterson was knocked out of the game, and boy, was he getting off to such a great start, averaging a little more than 4 yards a carry, and came into this game 191 yards shy, becoming the team's all-time leading rusher.
Here are the block on 2nd down and 6. Here comes Wembley, and there goes the ball from Christian Ponder. Ponder was a kid who watched his family follow Florida State. His dad played football at Florida State. His dad was recruited by Bobby Bowden. Ponder was recruited by Bobby Bowden and worked his way all the way to the Senior Bowl, where he was the MVP in that game.
And here's a kid that spent the offseason working with a former Florida State quarterback, Chris Winkie, at the IMG Academy to help get himself ready for the season.
Chris Winkie's from the Twin Cities. 3rd down and 6. And caught by Aroma-Shadu. A flag has been thrown. And Devin Aroma-Shadu from behind. Giordano rides him down. At about the 26, the flag is back at the 43. A 42-yard catch and run as it stands now. We have seen big plays wiped out by penalties for both teams today.
This one looked like it's going against the Raiders.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, defense number 24. That penalty decline, the result of the play, first down.
Kevin Aroma should do making a play for his young quarterback. Christian Ponder remains in the fight, continuing to want to have productive plays for this offense in Minnesota.
Tonight, Lara Logan's story on the woman who is so powerful, her decisions affect everyone's financial future, including yours. 60 Minutes tonight.
Vikings scored first in this game on a 12-yard touchdown run by Adrian Peterson. Late first quarter, injured his ankle, out since then. Just his T-shirt on the sideline. He's been out since that time. It looked like the wind kind of came out of the Vikings. Still trying to recruit. Here is a 1st and 10. Harvin with blockers, Hutchinson in front. That is a touchdown! 26-yard catch and run touchdown by Percy Harvin.
And I think you can see there is talent on this Vikings team. There is something to work with and give Christian Ponder to help him with his offense. Look at this, a nice design play by Bill Musgrave, the offense coordinator. Throwback screen to Percy Harvin, and you give him any kind of crease, any blocking whatsoever, he'll find the end zone. Had a touchdown called back early in the game.
Monroe, the extra point. Well, there's a lot of time left as the Vikings, with no quit, Berger and Hutchinson open the door with good blocks for Harvin.
Hey guys, I know I told you the Head and Shoulders more than dandruff.
Reception of the season.
Oh, he certainly is a weapon, and if you have him, you have Adrian Peterson, that's something to begin building around your young quarterback.
Here comes Brian McCann. Longwell with the kickoff. McCann signed just this week. Reese with the block and finds the outside. I'll tell you what, this is one of the interesting players in the NFL. Last year for Dallas had a 100-yard interception return, a 97-yard punt return, but he fumbles. He fumbled 6 times last year for the Cowboys. Get scores and manage CBS Sports Fantasy Football teams on your mobile phone. To get the free app, simply call *CBS or go to cbssports.com/mobile. First down and 10 from the 36-yard line. By the way, the Raiders haven't scored any points in the fourth quarter since early October at Houston. Palmer, and he had his receiver. It's incomplete, looking for Schillens. Got a touchdown pass earlier in the game, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Palmer knows that he overfired that one. And for quarterbacks like Carson Palmer and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, these rollout kind of plays where you're on the move and on the run is not necessarily his forte, even though he expects to be able to complete that pass. It's more of that stationary pocket quarterback that throws the ball on time and on rhythm.
This is a pretty important series for this Viking defense.
I think it's an important series in the game. Vikings defense pitch a 3 and out here, get the ball back.
2nd and 10, good block by Bush. Darius Hayward-Bay. He was brought down on the play by Griffin. 11-yard catch to New York and James Brown.
What has gotten into Detroit?
A tale of two halves, Kevin and Solomon. In the second half, 14 unanswered points. This 17-yarder, Tony Scheffler. And now Detroit takes the lead, 28-27.
Back to Kevin and Solomon.
Yeah, Coach, I think we saw that Detroit Lions team earlier in the season when they came from behind and win several games.
First down and 10 after the 11-yard pass to Hayward-Bay. Bush, Reese with the block. And brought down by Everson Griffin. Along a couple others to the 47-yard line and a gain of a yard.
We talk about this being a really important drive for Hugh Jackson's team. He talks about playing a complete game. His defense gives up a touchdown to the Minnesota Vikings. Now the offense gets out on the field. They've got to be able to stem the tide as the momentum appears that it could swing back with the Minnesota Vikings. The offense needs to be productive.
Big play from Jared Allen, drafted no sacks today. 2nd and 9. Hit as he throws. That's caught. Flag is down. It was grabbed by Hayward-Bay, who has been a revelation in this first half of the season. He's been terrific, much improved. 20-yard pickup, 33-yard line. Let's see what that flag is all about at the 38.
During the pass, holding, defense number 21. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
This is a beautiful throw from Carson Palmer. Watch, he throws this, his pressure's in his face before the wide receiver make the break. See, it's just anticipation. And I'm sure the defender thought he was going to intercept it as he threw it right in front of 41 Raymond. And that's just touch anticipation. This is one of the elite passers in the game, and I think that throw just showed it.
First down and 10 from the 33 of Minnesota. Michael Bush on a gain of 3 to the 30 and to James Brown in New York.
As the ball bounces in Baltimore.
And talk about anticipation, Sully. What do you do when you intercept the ball? Jimmy Smith anticipate from behind. Jerome Simpson punches the ball out. But Baltimore recovers and is scored with a Ray Rice 2-yard run, 24-14. Baltimore.
And solid.
Got to hold that ball high and tight, Coach.
Much like Palmer's got to do right here on 2nd down and 7. There is the defense of Williams and Jared Allen. 4th sack today by the Vikings on Palmer.
You know, Remy Adele has been quiet. Picked him up in free agency to replace Pat Williams. But Kevin Williams is still one of the best interior defensive linemen in the National Football League because he plays the run very well. We've seen him do that, Kevin. But for an interior guy, he rushes the quarterback equally as well.
56.
Julius Moore, top of your screen, 3rd and 12. Play clock at 2. Here they come with the blitz. Hayward Bay, but shy of the first down. Brought down by Griffin. It's a gain of 4. And Hayward Bay, who didn't have a pass thrown his direction in San Diego and didn't play that much in the game before against Denver, but has been a factor today, is down.
Well, he's tackled, but then there's another defender that catches him in the back of the head right there. See that? And then the helmet comes off. And it's E.J. Henderson, as he's knocked one way by Griffin, then the knee to the back of the head. I can tell you right now, and it appeared to be unintentional, but that's as devastating a blow as any offensive player can ever experience, even if it is unintentional. And the back of the head make contact with the ground or the knee of a defender. That's all the soft tissue area there, and he's just hope he can be okay here. We hope he can shake this one off.
Hayward Bay has had 4 receptions today. He has 31 for the season. One of the top receivers on this team, much improved, maybe the most improved to the Raiders in the first half. Time. First round pick a couple years ago out of Maryland. Really, he has emerged so much under Hugh Jackson's offense in his first half of the season. He's had his fingerprints on this game. He just caught a pass, and as he was getting driven to the ground, we'll show you the replay in just a second. Coming from the opposite way was another Viking defender who inadvertently caught him in the back of his head with his knee.
Yeah, you could see, and the pressure felt on the tackle from Griffin drives him back into the oncoming defender right there. E.J. Henderson, see the knee to the back of the head, forcing the helmet to come off, and that's where the blow occurred. Now, I don't know that you can do anything to legislate against this. It's just an inadvertent play. And you can see E.J. Henderson wasn't trying to be overly aggressive on that play at all. And then, see, it's just the weight of Griffin driving him back. The force of that hit goes opposite of the direction in which E.J. Henderson is delivering a hit. Now, we did see him moving his legs, Kevin. We saw him moving even his hands. We hope that this is just a precautionary measure.
You've played for the Vikings. You've played for a lot of teams in the NFL in many years. And after an injury like this takes place, and this kind of attention is paid to that injury, you know, do you ever have any thoughts in the back of your mind? Let me get out of this game clean. Let's that weighs on your mind, a teammate falling?
At this point, your thoughts, they don't turn inward towards yourself. They really do turn towards your teammate or even a guy on the opposing team. You do begin to think about that individual. You begin to, you know, pray and hope that he is going to be the best and going to recover from it and that he's going to be fine. And then you go right back to the job at hand. And I think that's something that football players everywhere, whether it's high school, college, or certainly at the NFL level, they understand some of the inherent dangers that come with playing this sport.
Hayward Bay, who played, as we mentioned before, at Maryland, was a record-setting wide receiver for the Terrapins. And he was a terrific track athlete, too, in the ACC. And he was somewhat of a surprising first-round pick by the Raiders a couple years ago. Had some injuries, had a hard way of really finding time on the field.
But he has developed. I mean, he's been coming on. Yeah.
This year he has really emerged, and perhaps the most improved players. You take a look at Donovan McNabb, who this Viking team traded for early in the season. So they have secured Darius Hayward Bay. And we will try to get an update. When we find out, you will know. Second injury today. The first was to Adrian Peterson, who hurt an ankle late in the first quarter after scoring a 12-yard touchdown run. And the next series he was injured. As you take a look at AP, and he went immediately off and took his helmet and his pads off when he got back in the second half onto the sideline. And now, as you can see, watching in a T-shirt. They've secured his neck and strapped him in. And they keep him as still as possible there. That's a great sign.
There you see.
It's a great sign.
That's the movement we talked about that we saw earlier. We saw him moving his legs. We saw him moving his hands, which is always tremendously positive sign.
One more time.
There's the hit. He even starts to get up and roll over. But there you see the movement with his hands and his legs there, but certainly in a tremendous amount of pain. He did the right thing, though, in staying down there, allowing the physicians and team trainers to attend to him, make sure no further damage is done. Take a look at head coach Hugh Jackson, and there's Jason Campbell, who's out for the year.
And by the way, we should mention about Campbell, if ever there was a gentleman in the NFL, it is this guy who is gracefully stepped aside. He was the starting quarterback. He was the guy that was engineering this team, and then when he was into it, the broken clavicle, as they take off Darius Hayward Bay, you know, they made the trade for Palmer, who obviously is going to be the long-term solution, and now Campbell has to wonder what's going to happen to me, but instead of pouting and being an issue, he has gracefully stepped aside.
He's been very positive. By all accounts, everyone say he has handled this, and I think it's shown his true character as a man. And they thought the world of him as a quarterback, that had he not been hurt, the Raiders said they would not have gone shopping for a quarterback this offseason. They were intending to move forward with Jason Campbell, but when he was hurt and the opportunity presented Hugh Jackson to be reunited with a quarterback like Carson Palmer, they proceeded and moved forward with it. And Jason Campbell has been very accepting of Carson Palmer on this team.
Because of the hamstring injury from this end of the field, Janikowski trailed nothing longer than 47 in three-game warm-ups. This is a 49-yard field goal try, and it's blocked! The first time he's had one blocked since the opening game of 2007. And the Vikings are breathing with plenty of time remaining. Troy Guyan was the one that blocked it in the middle for the Vikings.
Huge play. Much to the chagrin of Sebastian Janikowski.
Under 1st and 10 from his 40. Good block by Gerhardt, but from the other side came Tommy Kelly. Incomplete.
Hey, Christian Ponder has been under the gun all day long. A couple of bad throws, bad decisions picked up by Matt Giordano, and then this bad decision to throw the ball late over the middle of the field, intercepted by Tommy Kelly. But then on the last drive, they got it going. Nice little touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter over to Percy Harvin. Now let's see if Christian Palmer can keep the momentum going. The defense got the stop that you talked about, Kevin. They were able to get the ball back after a blocked field goal. Now let's see if Palmer can do something and make it a one-score game.
2nd down and 10. Raiders will have 5 in the secondary. Make it 6. 6 defensive backs for Oakland.
Down, Brady!
Percy Harvin. Oh, look at him snake his way right into Branch's tackle at the 48. A run of 8 yards for Harvin.
Harvin's actually playing some running back in this game. In the absence of Adrian Peterson, look at Harvin. He's lined up at the tailback position. No Toby Gerhardt. It's the smaller Percy Harvin, but he runs big, breaking tackles. So nice creativity, nice design by Bill Musgrave.
It's 3rd down and 2. Rudolph, bad pass by Palmer. Incomplete. Route was in the vicinity. 4th and 2, they got to go for it.
Yeah, Palmer adds a couple of these. He start to move and drift. Just this technique. You have to wonder, that ball was tipped. In fact, I think it was tipped by the defensive lineman. Appeared as though it was number 93, Tommy Kelly, who may have gotten a hand on it.
Boy, Kelly's been active today for Chuck Bresnahan's defense of the Raiders. 4th and 2. Oh, and it was tipped, and a flag is down. Is that on the Raiders? And if it is, it'll be a 1st down.
Yes, it's going to be. Costly penalties. They're saying it may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. If it was tipped by a defensive player at the line of scrimmage, then you can make contact with the receiver before the arrival of the ball.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21 with an arm grab. Spot the foul. Automatic. 1st down.
They're going to say Lito Shepherd did it, and Hugh Jackson wants to take a look at it. It would be reviewable. There's the jam. There's the arm grab right there.
I don't think it was tipped. I don't think it was. Let's watch one more time.
Take one more look at it.
Nope.
No. I think Hugh Jackson's here. He's going to stick that flag in his pocket. I think he got good word from upstairs that it wasn't tipped.
So for the 4th time today, a Raider penalty has given a 1st down to the Viking offense. Movement, flags, and whistles.
False start. Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
And Tuesday on CBS, Poppy Montgomery and Dylan Walsh star in TV's #1 new show, Unforgettable. An all-new episode Tuesday only on CBS. 1st and 15. And he empties the backfield. Maneuvers nicely. He's got to get to the 35 for a first. Flag is down. 1st down. Chased out of bounds by Rolando McClain to the 33.
Flags down everywhere in that Oakland Raiders secondary. He read man coverage and took off running.
17-yard gain as it stands. He's had some good runs today of 10 and 16 and 28 yards by Palmer.
2 penalties now, giving this Vikings offense second
While
chances.
the quarterback was still in the pocket. Illegal contact. Defense, number 55. The 5-yard penalty we added to the end of the run. 1st down.
The Raiders, it's the same old thing. And when Hugh Jackson talks about playing a complete game, as McClain is called on the penalty, and the 3rd down penalty on Lito Shepherd gave the Vikings a new set of down. Christian Palmer now taking advantage of it as they have now crossed the 30-yard line.
1st down and 10. From the Oakland 28. Gerhardt the block. Well, there really seems to be some problems about where these passes are going and where the receivers should be. Right now, we got to be in New York with James Brown.
Green Bay getting a little breathing room.
Yeah, John Kuhn, Shippensburg University, Sully, 2-yard touchdown run, 28-19, Green Bay.
capping an 8-play, 85-yard drive. Kevin Harlan, Solomon Wilcox.
I love me some John Kuhn. What an underrated player, but he's just as important part of that offense as anyone. He gives them some power.
Second down and 10. Gerhardt skipping outside. Down by Lito Shepherd. Flag is thrown.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 90, low to the head of the ball carrier, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
The 100th penalty so far this year, and we're just in the second half of the season. Well, you just can't have it. Got to be smarter than that. I remember my old coach Sam Weiss used to say, if everyone gets to come in on Monday and say, Coach, hey, it's only one mistake, it's only one penalty, he said we'd have 53 mistakes. Yeah. He said we wouldn't win a game. So you're not entitled, to a mulligan. You're not entitled to one mistake or one penalty as a player.
That was on Desmond Bryant. He went to Harvard. He's a pretty smart guy to begin with.
Yeah, someone need to give him that lesson. They teach that at Harvard?
They might. First and 10, Ponder. Here comes Wembley. There goes Ponder. Chased by Henderson and pushed out of bounds by McClain. At the 15-yard line, no gain, another flag. Yeah, this time at the 7.
Flag in the secondary of the Raiders. Self-destruction. This is the anatomy of a comeback. This is how it happens. Yeah. Hugh Jackson is really upset.
Holding, defense, number 34. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's on defensive back, Mike Mitchell.
I would have to institute some kind of fine system for senseless penalties. It would hold up. Look at that, 10 on the day for the Raiders.
And it's the yardage which stands out, 104 yards. First and goal at the 10.
Ready?
Gerhardt will carve his way down to about the 6 and pick up 4 for the Vikings. And again, plenty of time remaining.
Now, remember, we put up that graphic talking as you can look at the first downs by rushing attempts and by penalties, where the Vikings have gained 6 first downs because of the Raiders' mistake. But this is a problem that precedes Hugh Jackson. I mean, going all the way back to 2003 when we showed you all the penalties and how they've led the NFL year after year with this problem.
Second and goal at the 6. Ponder. Harvin. And the coverage by Stanford Routes. Down to the 5, gain of 1.
Yeah, this is a systemic problem going all the way back to 2003. 1,100 penalties by far. Well more than any other team in the National Football League. And Hugh Jackson, we talked about it, he says, hey, this is a different league now. So you have to play with a great amount of intelligence. You can't give teams anything. There was a time when the Raiders in the 70s were just better than everyone else. They could have penalties and still win games. That time is no longer.
Third and goal at the 5. Here comes Wembley. Ponder. Intercepted by Rout.
Wow.
What a pick. Rout comes up with a big-time interception off the rookie Ponder.
Ponder's 3rd interception of the game. Stanford Rout saves the bacon of the Oakland Raiders as the Vikings make another costly mistake.
Inside the Oakland 25.
And you can see the first fourth-quarter interception in the last 98 pass attempts by a Minnesota Vikings quarterback.
First and 10 from the 25 after the Rout pick in the end zone. Michael Bush to the 23 on a gain of 3. And E.J. Anderson was there.
Coming into today's game, I think it's Carson Palmer who's tied for the league lead with fourth-quarter interceptions with 5. And now Minnesota Vikings have 1. And I think that's an amazing number because you start throwing interceptions in the fourth quarter, it's just too difficult, too hard to overcome them, as the Vikings were attempting to come back in this game.
It's 2nd down and 7. Bush. Lead block by Carlisle. 1st down run. That's a gain of 8. And it was a tackle made by Greenway. All the momentum that was brought in with Ponder being elevated to the number 1, the good game against Green Bay, the win on the road at Carolina, and then the 38-point loss at Green Bay on Monday, and then today with the interceptions. It's taken some of the wind out of his sails as he's been elevated to the starting job.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you expected him to continue to develop. Coming back home after that road loss to the Green Bay Packers, just expected him to play better in front of the home crowd here in Minneapolis.
Bush on 1st and 10. Breaking tackles of Greenway and brought down in the secondary on a 13-yard pickup. Johnson was there. Big-time run by Bush. 108 yards on the ground.
Yeah, we just showed you the last time the Vikings allowed a 100-yard rusher. It's been a while, and now Michael Bush comes in and he tops 100 yards rushing after 100 yards, 10 days ago against the San Diego Chargers. Look, the first 100-yard rusher against the Vikings since the Giants played this team, and it was Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw.
This is the number 6 run defense in the NFL of Minnesota. 1st and 10. Pushing on, a fumble by Bush and recovered by Robinson at the 37. Bush with the fumble.
Well, you thought Robinson would get the scoop and score there. There was nothing but purple jerseys around the ball. Look at the hand right there. Look, knocked out, punched out by one of the defenders as he's coming in to tackle Michael Bush. Heads up play by the Minnesota Vikings. Critical play.
His first fumble since November of 2009. 373 touches.
Wow. And if the Raiders should hold on to this one, I know Hugh Jackson's going to have plenty to say, because this is far from the complete game that he was looking for.
1st and 10 for Christian Ponder, going deep. He's got Shanko at the 1. What a catch and what a throw. 37-yard strike. 1st and goal, the Minnesota Vikings.
Cameron Wembley in coverage. Number 96 running down the seam. Throwing it right over his head into coverage. Great catch by Shanko beyond Wembley and in front of Tyvon Branch. Look at Wembley. He's normally chasing the quarterback. And now he's trying to defend passes thrown by the quarterback.
Running that route, he tweaked a hamstring in practice on Thursday to Shanko, but he was in full stride right there. 1st and goal at the 1. Gerhardt in the backfield. That is a touchdown. Kyle Rudolph. 1-yard touchdown catch by the rookie tight end out of Notre Dame.
A really good play. They dragged the tight end. He's coming from the backside. He actually was behind the line of scrimmage, where they sneak him behind the line of scrimmage. See, he's in the backfield, so coverage can't stay with him. Alondo McClain, the middle linebacker, is responsible for him, but he's got his eyes peeking in the backfield.
That kid has got a bright, bright future, does Rudolph. Here is the Longwell extra point. And now, with 5:08 to play, we've got a 6-point game as both teams are struggling to play clean here in the second half. Bush just fumbling. Shanko a 37-yard reception to the 1. Ponder the 1-yard touchdown pass to fellow rookie tight end Kyle Rudolph.
Well, it's been a comedy of errors here in the fourth quarter, quite frankly, Kevin. We've seen the interception from Christian Ponder. Snapper route, picked him off in the end zone. Then the fumble by Michael Bush, giving the ball right back to the Minnesota Vikings in plus territory. The Vikings able to capitalize on it with the touchdown pass to Rudolph. And now it's a 1-score game for the Minnesota Vikings, who should really feel very thankful to be back in this game after losing Adrian Peterson in the first half.
And think about the Vikings today. They've had 2 interceptions inside the Oakland 25 today.
Wow, they've turned it over 3 times and still find themselves in it.
This is an amazing comeback for the Vikings. but as Solomon just said, in the second half, littered with mistakes and turnovers and penalties, it is given life to 2-7 Minnesota.
There are 3 turnovers in the second half, 4 for the entire game.
Longwell and Denarius Moore, 4 yards deep for Oakland. Flag is thrown. 24-yard return. Marcus Sherrills makes the tackle. Flag at the 16.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 56. After discipline, the spot of foul. Oakland keeps the ball. First down.
That's backup linebacker Darrell Blackstock for the Oakland Raiders. Coming up next, the NFL on CBS goes to Chicago, where the Bears will take on the San Diego Chargers. Some of you will see the Titans and Falcons. Check local listings. Week 11 in the NFL. Boy, the crowd back into it now. Marooned it is 9. First and 10 yards to go for Carson Palmer. Reese, big hole. Over the left side. Brought down by Johnson. Hit by Griffin. 14-yard run. No yellow on the field. First down to the 22.
It's the kind of run that is a momentum killer. Look at this one. Look at the nice block. The lead by Khalif Barnes, 69. And Reese runs right off his tail into the secondary. That's a statement run by the Oakland Raiders running for power.
As you can see, each team with the 3 timeouts. First and 10. Bush 102 yards rushing today. Bush. Flag. Tackle made by Fred Evans among many, and the ball's at the 23.
Holding. Defense. Number 93, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Kevin Williams.
Now you say, how can a defensive lineman get holding, called for holding on a run play? And what happens is you're just trying to, see right there, you don't want Cooper Carlisle to get to the second level to block Chad Greenway. And that's what happens. You're trying to keep your linebackers clean so they can run to the ball. That's what defensive linemen do. He's putting in the dirty work so someone else can make the play, but he got caught holding on that snap.
Just a bit of housekeeping. We have still not heard any update on Darius Hayward-Bay, the Oakland receiver, who was taken off the field. First down and 10. We got Louis Murphy to the bottom of your screen. Denarius Moore to the top. And they're going. That's a flag. Cedric Griffin was watching Murphy.
Louis Murphy, he was contesting for that ball and really drew the penalty.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 23. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You might remember Louis Murphy. He was Tim Tebow's favorite receiver at Florida.
Sure was.
And he's a guy that will compete. Now watch him draw this flag here. See how he's trying to come back to the ball? He's trying to fight for it while using that arm to hold off Griffin. And Griffin is making contact before the arrival of the ball. You're not allowed to do it, but give credit to Louis Murphy for competing for the ball when it's in the air. 20 penalties combined called on both teams.
It's first and 10. Reese Greenway. And he picks up 2.
You love the way Chad Greenway plays with a flat back. He's going up against a 6'3", 240-pound Reese. Now watch 52. Look at that. He comes up. Actually, one of the other defensive backs, 33, Jamarcus Sanford, came up with a flat back as well.
Greenway, who's from South Dakota, played 9-man football in South Dakota, went to the University of Iowa. First-round pick by this team. Missed his rookie year with an injury, but has come back and he's led Vikings in tackles 3 consecutive seasons.
He's proud of that 9-man football, right?
He should be.
He wanted us to know that it was 9 men, not 11. And he's proud of where he comes from and proud of what it represents.
So we had Adrian Peterson score right off the bat for the Vikings. As you take a look at the standings, Denver has played and won already this week. San Diego is playing in Chicago today. Kansas City Monday. It's tomorrow night in Foxborough. 2nd down and 8. Reese, E.J. Henderson from behind to the 39 and a catch and run of 4.
Boy, Henderson was hustling on that play. Had he not, play would have gone for a 1st down as he hustled over to make the tackle. And is there a better quarterback right now for the Raiders to have in this situation with so much on the line? Carson Palmer looking to keep his team in 1st place. A loss here, they fall to 5-5, tied with the Denver Broncos. Here's your game summary. Adrian Peterson left the game in the 1st quarter with an ankle injury after 6 carries. He got off to a great start. Then the Raiders went on to score 27 unanswered points. 17 came off turnovers. In the Vikings, they outscored Oakland 14-0 in the 4th quarter, and 7 have come off turnovers. So the Vikings have gotten back in it because the Raiders have turned it over, and they've had a number of penalties to help the Vikings stay in the ball game.
Vikings will be in the nickel, 3rd down and 4.
56! 52!
Whoops. Oh, they got him! E.J. Henderson coming through. The sack back to the 30. Loss of 9. Raiders have got a punt.
Just a great play. E.J. Henderson, watching coming off the right side of Carson Palmer. Wrapping right around Michael Bush. Bush could not keep Henderson off the quarterback. We talk about running backs factoring into protection scheme and being able to play without the ball in their hands. That time Bush beat on the play.
4th sack by the Vikings. Leckler needs a big one right now. Marcus Sherrills on the 22 to 6, and NFC punt returns and was hit by Myers. Boyd was there. 48-yard punt, 7-yard return.
At some point, young quarterbacks, Kevin, despite the mistakes they've made in a game, they've got to be able to have a short memory, wipe it off, and then be able to win a game for your football team. Even without an Adrian Peterson in the lineup, Christian Ponder was right at the doorstep, 3 minutes away and just 71 yards away from taking the lead in the ball game.
Raiders have had big leads and blown them this year, like in Buffalo on the road, week 2. Trying to hold on right now. 1st and 10 from the 29. Almost picked off, going for Klein Saucer, but coverage by Rolando McClain. Incomplete. Ponder has already thrown 3 picks today.
Now watch, he's clear on one hash, throws it late. See how his eyes whipped over to that side, he saw a purple jersey and didn't check for the white one coming into his view. McClain nearly had the interception. Now if you're the Raiders, what helps you win it here, Kevin? Being smart. No penalties, no second chances for the Minnesota Vikings.
6 in the secondary, 2nd and 10. That's a catch made by Jenkins. He works on and beats Lito Shepherd. 1st down to the 44. 16-yard pickup, 1st down.
Good protection, good throw. And in terms of knowing where to go with the football, Christian Ponder was phenomenal and a really good catch from Jenkins.
1st and 10. And that is intended for Aroma Shadu, the coverage by Stanford Route.
Boy, I really don't like Ponder being on one hash, coming clear back to the other side. See, he's on one hash, this one clear out to the sideline. The ball's in the air that long, it gives the defensive back time to recover and break on it and possibly get an interception. And Stanford Route, who's already intercepted Ponder once in the game, is the last guy you want to test in that situation.
Second down and 10. Blitz by Huff. Jenkins and a meager gain. McLean the stop to the 46 on a pickup of 2.
Ponder's got a real good sense. Like to get one more playoff before the 2-minute warning.
3rd and 8. Vikings only have one more timeout. They'll get one right here. Hit. Get away from Houston. Brought down by Tommy Kelly. Back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down after a gain of 1. The 2-minute warning. Vikings have a decision to make.
Hey, Todd. Where's our sub? Oh, Samantha.
Vikings will go for it on 4th down and 8 from their 46. As you can see, they trail by 6 points.
Big 4th down play for the young quarterback and these Minnesota Vikings. Scrapping and fighting without their best player, Adrian Peterson.
We need the Raider 46. Hunter. Intended for Harvin. Broken up beautifully by Tyvon Branch. Raiders take over. 1st and 10. Branch with a huge defensive play. No yellow on the field. 1st and 10. Oakland Raiders.
Tyvon Branch, he's got to be the star in this secondary. Watch him, number 33, to the right of screen in man-to-man coverage against Harvin. Now, this is a safety playing man-to-man coverage in the slot against one of the quicker wide receivers in the NFL. Tyvon Branch is a do-it-all, do-it-everything for Kevin Ross and Rod Woodson, who coached that Oakland Raiders secondary.
Minnesota with a timeout. 1st down and 10 for the Raiders at the 46 of Minnesota. Bush. He'll submarine to the 42 on a pickup of 4 on a Viking timeout, their last one.
So a comedy of errors by the Oakland Raiders. A lot of penalties and then turnovers allow the Vikings to get back into the game. Then they finally make a play on defense. Here is the summary of today's game. Adrian Peterson knocked out of the game in the 1st quarter with an ankle injury. And then Carson Palmer to Chaz Schilling get him on the scoreboard. Then Bush rumbles in for another touchdown. And then Christian Ponder gets his first touchdown pass, tossing it over to Percy Harvin. His 2nd touchdown toss to Kyle Rudolph. At one point, the Oakland Raiders had scored 27 unanswered points and then allow the Vikings to get back in it with 2 touchdowns in the 2nd half.
2nd down and 6. Bush. And brought down by Fred Evans on a loss of a yard.
Well, give the Vikings a lot of credit. They were down 27-7 in this ball game. And Les Frazier team came out in the 2nd half without Adrian Peterson. Can't talk about that enough because clearly you would expect the team to lose some steam. I do believe it took them some time in that 2nd quarter to get used to his absence in the huddle because he came out running very well and certainly would have given them a much better chance of winning today's game had he stayed in the matchup completely healthy.
Just saw Jared Allen, no sacks today. He came in leading the NFL with 13 sacks at that defensive end for the Vikings. And the Raiders will take a timeout. As you take a look at Allen, so they're coming off a big win as Oakland. They've had 10 days rest. They were playing a 2-7 team. That team, the Vikings, losing by 38 in Green Bay. Some people in the Bay Area media said this might be a trap game, but the Raiders, even though they had a ton of penalties and some self-destructive plays, looks like they have held on for their 6th win. And if they go on to win, it'll be their 4th win on the road. 4 of their 6 wins have been away from the Bay Area.
And I would dare say they need a 1st down here.
Yes,
Are they going to get the ball back over to the Vikings?
3rd down and 7. Here is Bush. And he gets as far as the 40. He picks up 2. They can't stop the clock. It continues to tick. It'll be 4th down. The clock is going to go down to about 14-15 seconds. and then they'll take the timeout. Sherrills will be back to get this punt. Leckler will boot it away. He's terrific, as we've mentioned before, for distance and for getting that ball inside the 20.
Oh, if they ever need a knockdown punt inside the 5-yard line,
You're right.
Hugh Jackson said, could you please give me one of those? Because right now he's not feeling that comfortable that they weren't able to pick up that first down and then kill the clock. Because he sort of knows that the Vikings, they're going to get another snap from the line of scrimmage. And they're one play away from winning the game.
There's a delay game.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So he'll get another 5 yards with which to work, which in this situation every punter would love. Undrafted Sherrills off the practice squad inside the 10. Leckler, the multiple Pro Bowler, to boot it for the Oakland Raiders. 13 seconds to play. From the 11, Marcus Sherrills, chased by Kondo. Mitchell steers him out of bounds. So the clock is at 2. 1 play left.
Boy, Sherrills, he ran over to that sideline, took most of the time off the clock.
Yeah, he did.
Fair catch would have been better if you're not going to hit the big one.
Ponder with the 3 picks. He did throw 2 touchdowns today. Peterson was out late in the first quarter after a 12-yard touchdown run. Palmer with a touchdown pass. No picks. 17 of 23. Bush 109 yards on the ground. His second consecutive 100-yard game. Still no word, folks, on Darius Hayward-Bay. We have tried to get something and get nothing. Here we go. 1st and 10. And it's caught by Jenkins. They'll try to lateral. He hands off to Gerhardt. The ball is loose. It's picked up by the Raiders, who have sole possession of first place in the West. Still, they go to 6 and 4. So now for Solomon Wilcots, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Minneapolis. Hugh Jackson and the Raiders hold on. Now it's time for the NFL Today update presented by Verizon.
All right, we're going to take you out to the game between Cincinnati and